I'm not saying I'm never going to start again. I'm not saying I'm fully like a bullpen guy. I don't even know what my role is. I'm just kind of pitching and whatever the opportunity arises. Then I feel like I'm adaptable and ready for that.
Now, back to Willard and Dibs on 95.7 The Game.
Yeah, that's the thing right there. That's a good poll, guys, because I don't even know what my role is. And if there's any, you were just talking about how you think Gabe Kapler is great with people. I think he is. I don't think every player loves it.
Right.
I don't, and I say it because I don't mean it's not a personal thing. Every single human being, when you go to the office, if you've got 60 coworkers, look, some of them like you and some of them think differently, right? So I have no idea what his personal relationships are, but the way the Giants do business, I think that a lot of guys really dig it, and I think that there are some guys who don't.
Right. I guess where I give him the most credit, Gabe Kapler, is it feels to me like there is transparency and communication. So,
for sure.
And I will give that same nod to, look. Even though he's on vacation, that makes this buttering up even more authentic because...
you turn this Giants conversation into an opportunity to kiss Matt Higgins' butt.
And he's not even in the building.
Unbelievable.
That shows how much class I have.
Yeah,
but
it shows that he has the app. But anyway, go ahead.
Guys, download the app. Push
I
the
remember
app.
at 6:03 Eastern Time, I was listening. I was drunk at a bar in Boston.
Willard didn't tease Manaea. Or do I call him Manaea? Look. Transparency and communication. If you have that, you may not agree with your boss. It feels to me like Gabe Kapler at least tell these guys, like Sean said to us in the interview, I had a feeling, or I knew that I was going to pitch. I just didn't really know when. So he was ready to go.
But I think that it makes, as fans, our ears perk up when we hear someone go, I don't even know my role.
True.
And that's what professionals want. They want to know their role. Marco Luciano probably didn't think he was going to get pinch hit for the other night. But then there are other times where we'll look at Jock Peterson and go, dude, you were an all-star. You're an all-star last year. But you're also just a platoon guy. Now, Jock has been asked this question, and he goes, y'all understand this is exactly what they pitched to me when I signed here. I am doing exactly what they told me I was going to do. I'm good with it. But some guys are and some guys aren't. And so it's a transition. Stripling and Manaea and Wood, these are starting pitchers in the bigs. But they're not right now. I don't know if they accept the term bulk innings role. We go, it's just like a starter, but you just don't start in the first. Well, we've now talked to two of the three, and they're like, I'm not starting. I'm a bullpen guy. Hell, you just pulled me in the ninth with one out and a man on. Okay, so I think that it's frustrating for guys sometimes.
At least Stripling in his career has done it. 220
Correct.
games,
Correct.
114 starts. So for Stripling, it's an easier sell than Manaea, who up until this year had only done it twice.
Exactly.
He never did it with the A's. So it's a little bit more of a transition, and I think Wood is probably in the same boat as Manaea.
So, but take those three guys, and now let's put the fans in the same bucket with them. I think the backing to do it is it works.
Scoreboard.
It works.
Yeah.
So what exactly is the rub here? And that's why we're asking the question about Farhan. A dead deadline certainly got everybody riled up yesterday. I wanted them to do something too, but then I admitted something about myself. I went to bed and I woke up and I realized I wanted him to do something just because I wanted him to do something. Like, there wasn't some guy where I'm like, they got to get a left fielder. I wasn't. You want a trade. But if all you want is a trade for the sake of the trade, then I think it's fair when the team goes, it wasn't there and we're not doing it just for the sake of the trade. I'll share something with you. I will not tell you who texted it to me.
Oh, I'll know.
But it was texted to me yesterday by someone in the vicinity of 3rd and King.
Okay. Totally.
Farhan does not give a bleep what the fans think.
Of course, I've said this all along. None of these, if you're a manager or a general manager or a president of whatever operations, if you do care what the fans think, you're fired. If John Lynch is down there at 4949 Centennial thinking, I should put up a Twitter poll to see if I should keep Trey or if I should keep Brendan Allen.
It's not that, but you don't want to offend your fan base.
You know what I mean, though.
I think once upon a time when the 49ers called the Patriots and they're like, Garoppolo. And they're like, no, we're not doing Garoppolo. And remember when John Lynch was like, well, what about Brady? And Kraft stepped in. He's like, you're not trading Brady.
Yeah.
Because that would destroy our fans. So
yes,
I think there are
next
times.
Level.
Yes, there are times.
If you part with Alex Wood,
that's
sorry, Alex. I don't mean to disparage you, but you're not Tom Brady.
No, of course not. Of course not. I just mean there are moments where the fan opinion matters. It does sometimes.
It does, but then I think about Montana and Steve Young, where the fan opinion, and I know there was no social media and no sports talk radio, but the fans were on the side of Joe Montana.
How could they not be? Yeah.
Exactly. But Eddie D and company, Bill Walsh, they weren't thinking, geez, what do the fans want? We should go down to Redwood City and do a man on the street interview. They don't. You're fired. If you're Farhan Zaidi and you really care, and I don't give a rip is a little strong way to put it.
Right, but it's not so much do you care, it's do you allow that to change what you're doing.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree with you completely.
And Farhan he's proven to be steadfast in his own process. And whether or not that involves bringing in a big boy or not, you and I have a difference of opinion, and maybe I'll be proven wrong one of these days. But one thing is certain that you and I can agree upon when it comes to Farhan Zaidi, he's got a plan, and he's going to stick to it.
He doesn't know. Yeah, he does not care the way the wind is blowing. And by the way, he signaled that to you right away. I always was struck by this. Everybody. The guy's searching for a manager. I'm going to retire. So he's looking for a manager. And the drumbeat, don't you dare hire Gabe Kapler. Don't you do Farhan?
Look at me, Farhan.
There were issues in L.A. They didn't like him in Philly. He's weird. He's got
hand tats.
He's got a website with health tips on it. Don't hire him. And Farhan was like, we're hiring Gabe Kapler. Because
who did fans want him to hire at the time? Do you remember? Because Flannery wasn't interested.
No.
And I don't think Wotus was a candidate. It didn't feel like there was an internal.
Wotus would have been like, the warm fuzzy thing. But as far as, no, there was not an internal.
I'm trying to remember if there was anybody who fans actually wanted.
Who was the guy? Someone from Houston came in, and I'm trying to remember. He's on their staff. It was somebody who was on the Astros staff. Wasn't a big name. But Houston at that time, right, had the buzz, all the stuff going on with how good they were and their farm system and everything. So there was some good vibes around that. Kapler was the biggest name, though, because Philly, because Dodgers, because hand tats, GQ magazine shoots, and people were like, don't do it. And he checked his notes and he went, we're doing it. We're doing it. And I'm going to sit up here next to him and we're going to answer your questions. 2 years later, he's the manager of the year. So, again, the scoreboard is not neon shining. They've not won a World Series, but the scoreboard is in his favor. And I got a larger question, if I may ask it. Wouldn't you agree, whether it's Farhan and a deadline, this Trey Lance, Brock Purdy conversation, or everything surrounding Draymond Green and Jordan Poole, I will never tell you fans that you can't criticize, that you can't have an opinion, and that you can't be bothered by certain things that you're seeing. But I would argue way too much time is being spent on the little picture as opposed to the big picture. Why y'all so angry? Why are you having such a hard time admitting that your basketball team won a title 13 months ago, that your football team is one of the favorites to win the Super Bowl, and that your baseball team wins more games than it loses and at least is there with the checkbook when a big name shows up ready to sign somewhere? Why is there so much anger right now surrounding these teams when I would argue that all three of them are well run and win so much more than they lose. Why is it that way right now?